So to continue our build-up to Saturday's All-Ireland semi-final, delighted to welcome back to the programme former Waterford and Limerick boss, Justin McCarthy. And first of all, Justin, what have you made of Waterford's progress through the back door this summer?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, they're showing good form. They're playing very good quality of hurling. They're gutsy. They're energetic. They're taking the game to the teams, and the results that they got, they were very worthwhile, and they deserve it.
What Waterford players have stood out for you so far, Justin, in this year's championship?
Well, the goalkeeper has improved because with O'Keefe gone, I mean, I thought that might be a big a big loss. Obviously, like the Bennetts have ended up at a punch, and they're certainly playing with more confidence and getting the scores, and even going back in the back line. You could see that Austin Gleeson is, he's a class player, and he's showing that bit of maturity now, and the example which you need from players. Jamie Brown is as good as midfielder as you see around in any team, and like the energy that he has and going forward. I like the way they're going forward. There's no doubt about that. And attacking the game and attacking the opposition. So they're quite balanced. They're nearly a more even team than the teams I was involved with. Overall, they're quite even. And I think like that's the way they play with that bit of energy and that commitment and their hurling ability. They make very few mistakes in the ball. So obviously, like they're quite a good all-round team.
How would you rate their chances of toppling Limerick on Saturday, Justin?
It's a huge test for Waterford, to be honest. It is. Like, Limerick want to prove themselves that they're a great team by winning another All-Ireland. That's the bottom line. If you look back at last year's All-Ireland, Limerick tore into Waterford in the first quarter of an hour. They from the word go, they never let them settle. They threw them out of line. They were thrown out of shape, and then they dictated the play afterwards. That was the big thing last year. I felt they overpowered them, and they are a very strong force of the team. There's no doubt. But this is more summer hurling than winter hurling, And for Waterford to win, they'll have to be prepared for this, and keep their focus and keep their shape, not to be put out by Limerick's tactics of, trying to go out of the way and say, get out of the way, we want to move on here. In other words, they can't be bossed around like they were last year in the first quarter or 20 minutes, which is going to be vital, I think, But their form is good. I mean, Limerick have been so against Cork. Waterford's form has been better. And they only played 1.5 against Tipperary. So, if you were in Limerick, you'd say we'd have to put maybe two halves together. This mightn't do us. And semi-finals are games in itself. And I know from being involved in Waterford and other teams, it's hard to get over them. And sometimes, like a team that you expect maybe that would win an All-Ireland, are kind of looking ahead to the final. And that's where Limerick could be caught. There's no doubt about that. I think that Waterford can't afford to let them get easy possession from puck outs. Like their cornerbacks getting the ball, then something makes a run down the field, hitting into his pass, then another pass onto somebody else, and it's over the bar. They like to get into that kind of pattern of play. And then you last year, you two wing forwards scoring 12 or 13 points. I mean, come on, who's marking? Who's marking who? I mean, surely we've got something that's responsible for those. And Limerick like to go free and move in waves, kind of, and all of a sudden they're hitting it over the bar. They'll have to be closer marking, and they'll have to be a bit more. I think that players will have to take responsibility a bit more for who am I on, who's my man, because the longer that Waterford stay in the game, the better. Withstanding a fierce quarter of an hour, 20 minutes maybe of a barrage of physicality, so to speak. The longer they're in the game, I feel, the better chance they have. And not allowing Limerick get too much space, which they'd like to get into a pattern. Putting it up to them. It's going to be a battle. This game isn't going to be over. Both teams can finish strongly, which will only finish strongly and try and win if you don't be left behind at the start. So that's kind of vital. I feel myself that, if Waterford can stay in the game, finish strongly, you could see them get over the line.
You've teed it up very, very nicely, Justin. You can hear the passion and the enthusiasm you still have for the game in your voice there. A lot of our listeners will remember the two battles you had with Limerick in 2007 when you were in charge of Waterford. What do you recall, first of all, Justin, about the Munster final in Thurles?
The Limerick leader put something up in the back, a big headline that Waterford weren't good enough and that they're kind of a soft touch. And I remember bringing in the picture or the paper before I went out on the field. I put it up in the back of the door and said, "Listen, lads, this is what we are. We're going to prove ourselves today. We're not a soft touch." And like you could see, like they were just eager to get on then, like, and go for it. So there's psychological sides of the game. Which Limerick, as I say, want to become a great team by winning another All-Ireland. But Waterford have enough of motivation, my God. I mean, but they also have the talent. It isn't just the motivation that you need alone. They have the ability, but there's no good saying after the game, and we were so close to you, if only this, if only that. Every fella put his shoulder to the wheel, would stand that force that you're coming along early on, get on with it. Don't be bossed around. You have the hurlers to do it. I wouldn't be surprised.
And the last time Limerick and Waterford met in All-Ireland semi-final was in 2007, Justin, and Limerick got their revenge on that occasion. Do you think that playing 3 weeks in a row took its toll on the team in the end?
The whole lot, and there was a lot of things on it. Maybe waiting around a lot, and you were in good form, and there was, they got a great start that day as well. They got an early goal. And then they kind of gave the momentum, then got another goal. And they were very hard to bring back, even though we came back at them strongly enough. But at the end of the day, we just couldn't match them at times. And again, it was the start that done the business for them. So that's why I said it's vital again with this team. I mean, they're a powerful team, but they're not unbeatable.
And Justin, to bring it up to the present day, are you still involved with any team at the moment?
I'm involved here with the coach in the divisional team here in the Senior Championship. We got over our first round there about 2.5 weeks ago. Shandoon, there'd be a combination of junior players within the city. And we have a nice set-up there, so we had a good win against another division team, Muscree. So we're into the next round now in the next few weeks. So, yeah, we're taking over nicely, but they also have to go to their clubs because we just have them maybe for one night a week, give or take. But I'm glad to be involved and giving a handout. And ironically, the manager of the team is General McCarthy's son, Paul McCarthy. So we're going back to Waterford and Cork and the whole lot. I mean, John was involved with Waterford, and myself. And so, we're going back. But listen, after my life, I'll do as long as I can, and I get the enjoyment out of it. And I love to see people progressing and making, trying to win something. And, and I'd love to see Waterford winning. I really would.
And finally, Justin, like a lot of the Waterford players that you're in charge of still recall the days that you brought them out to the ball alley out in your home place out in Passage West. Do you still go out for a few pucks yourself these days?
Ball alley, yes, with my grandson and his friend. They're 12. And we were down there yesterday poking around and showing them a few things. And, there's always room for development. A ball alley is a great place to develop and get to know yourself. And they came up here many times, and they also had a cup of tea and so on, the house. And, it's all about building up that spirit. And the spirit is great at the moment. The fair Liam Carl, and Bevins and the lads with them and so on. I mean, there's a great spirit there. There's no doubt about that. Waterford shouldn't be never short of spirit. So that's there. That's development that you bring along, and you sort of encourage, and it's something that you can develop within a team to make a lot of it is belief too. Because, giving them the belief that they can win, providing they have the ability and the work put in. And that's put in. The ability is there. Don't stand back, lads. Go for it. There's a great chance.
Very well said. Well, former Waterford and Limerick boss Justin McCarthy, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Aidan Carney, great play again by Ringo. The referee, it's all over! It's all over, and Waterford are Munster champions. 3-17-1-14. We've captured our power title since 02, and now we've captured our 8th Munster title. It may be a Munster final, but my God, the excitement of the supporters tells its own story.
Now you're hurling. Lorna Porca with Tomás McCarthy on WLR.